Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Phoenix Legion podcast, episode number 8. I am back. That's right. I am back, and I am here with my lovely co-host who, if you did not see her live stream last night, which I did have a hard time finding. You're like, no, it's there. Trust me. I promise. I did. I finally found it. So definitely go watch that as well. I would like to thank, R2 and for filling in with Nadine because he's been on the channel before and he does a great job. So I did definitely appreciate that. And of course, Tom kind of, who being a Disney encyclopedia, who he has like knowledge for days. Like it's like if you get him started talking about Disney, he's just like, it's like, no, hold on, Tom, I have a question. No, but he knows so much about Disney. It fascinates me because I like watching Disney as well. R2 says I am in the chat, fools. The Mrs. R2 says hello, everyone. Hello. And so going forward, we have a lot to talk about tonight because Disney continues to stick their foot in their mouth. I use something R2 says, happy to have helped out. Of course, dude. Like, it was really funny. It was funny because he was nervous. He's like, I'm kind of nervous. And I was like, dude, like you've done this on your channel numerous times. Like I wouldn't have given you control if I didn't trust you. So yeah, Disney is continuing to step in it. But I want to jump into something that has nothing to do with Disney. But at the same time, it falls along the same lines because nothing, unfortunately, in this world is sacred anymore. So a lot of people know that the brand Cracker Jack for going to baseball games, correct? Yeah. It's a well-known brand. It's been around for decades, probably half a century.
I'd say maybe the early 1900s, something like that.
Yeah, it's been around. I think it's been around for like a century. It's been around for a long time, and so
it's been a very long time.
So it is tied to American baseball because it is tied to a song that is sang by the crowd in the 7th inning. I don't know if we ever get back.
1896, so 126 years ago.
Yeah, so it's 126 years old, and this is the awful, horrendous stuff. Nothing sacred. I'll tell you what. Here we go.
Worse than them taking like toys out because I don't even know what they put in there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if they do anymore, but it doesn't matter because this is terrible. Here we go.
No female had ever won a wrestling state championship in North Carolina until now.
An 11-year-old girl is the first girl in the history of the Arlington Football Association to score a touchdown.
Historic news in the sports world. The first female minor league manager in baseball history.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker gel. No one can stop you if you have the will.
So wait, what's the deal?
They changed it from Cracker Jack to Cracker Jill.
Like totally?
They changed the name.
Like completely.
As far as everybody knows, this is their new advertisement. Cracker Jill, take me out to the ball game.
I'm confused.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Oh man.
Okay, so the New York Post article from 2 days ago, just their headline says Cracker Jill version to promote women's sports. So it's not, I think it's probably just kind of like, remember when Coke came out with the names on the bottles?
Mm-hmm.
So just from the headline, it doesn't seem like it's completely changed. It's just like, so, you know, some bags are going to have that on there just, you know.
I have a question though.
Because having support from a corporation is what means the most, not from people you actually know.
It's a good point. That's a good point. It's kind of where I was going with that.
Just like when June comes up and everybody's all rainbow.
Yeah, it's
like,
not.
You know, like it seems like patronizing to me.
Oh, it's gross. It's gross.
Like a corporation doesn't need to. Like I don't get it. I know people would get mad because a corporation would not support something, but it's not just because they're not saying anything doesn't mean they don't support it. But I think the gross over support, it just, like I said, it seems patronizing.
Yeah, I would agree. The Mrs. says why. R2 says this is just lazy virtue signaling. Yeah, you're right. And so they transition Jack. Well, in this world, don't give them ideas. Look, I have, like, she sings wonderfully. Why don't you have her sing the original song?
Because that's not the name of the new product. Or the relabeling. It's not a new product. It's a relabeling.
It's a relabeling. But
wouldn't it make sense, though? I think if you're going to do that, maybe make a new product.
Yes.
Like, maybe make it like, I mean, obviously people will bitch if they're like, oh, we'll make it pink, because they'll be like, not all girls like pink. But what if you did Cracker Jacks and then also like added cinnamon or something like that? Made it a different product.
Yeah.
That stands alongside Jack and they're equal.
Yeah. I would actually
Jack Thunder. Don't just slap it on a bag.
Well, it's kind of like the you have the M&Ms, right? You have the regular, you have the peanut, then you brought in the female M&M and stuff like that. Like, nobody had a problem with that. And you know,
nobody had a problem with the blue M&M being a jazz musician.
Yeah,
playing the saxophone.
Yeah, nobody cared. Like, this is the problem, is that they don't realize nobody cares. R2 says that, so instead of making new original products for girls, they just relabel someone. Yeah, exactly. Something that's 126 years old. I feel like this is a wasted ad, especially.
Why wasn't that done during women's suffrage back in the day when it was around?
You know. All right, let's continue on with the. Like I said, I have nothing wrong with the artist who is singing this. She sings awesomely, and I just wish that they would have utilized.
Getting paid. I mean,
well, she's getting paid, but we're not done. Trust me, we're not done. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not it. You didn't see that. Okay.
So let's root for a girl's dream. We're adding our face to the game, and we'll run through with never a doubt. It's a new ball game.
Play ball.
Like, what?
Yeah, so it's just labeling the bag.
Like, well, it's not even that. Like,
thanks for your support.
Like,
Cracker Jack Corporation. Isn't it? I just read on the new snippet too. The headline: Pepsi owns them.
Well, if they do,
because in the New York Post headline it said Pepsi. So
does it? Okay, well, I guess that's a way for Pepsi to get get their virtue signaling out.
Yeah, Pepsi unveils Cracker Jill version of Cracker Jack. So yeah.
Look, it's a limited edition thing. I can take that to the bank and say, you know what? That's not really that rough. It's obnoxious and it's like kind of stupid. But when you take it a step further. And hold on real quick. Daniel says red and M&M, blue M&M. Yeah, that's true. And Phil says hello there. Hey, Phil.
Hello.
we're adding our face to the game or whatever she said. It's like women have been in sports for decades.
Well, and then also taking, baseball into consideration, like, did nobody like pay attention to like A League of Their Own?
Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way.
Like the
Phenomenal
women's baseball team.
Phenomenal movie.
I met one of, she wasn't a Peach. She was actually on one of the women's teams though. When I went to summer camp one time, her name was Salty Sands, and I got a signed card, but it's somewhere in a box. But yeah, she actually played women's baseball league.
Now I want to watch that movie because it's so great. It's so great.
We watched the movie, and then we met her and another woman, so that was nice.
R2 says there's no crying in baseball. It's Madonna, right? That slides into home, and she literally gets scarred up like her leg because she slid.
I don't know. Was it her character or Lori Petty's character that she played Kit, the sister? I thought, or no, I think it was either. I don't remember.
I don't know. It's been so long since I've watched it. It's been so long since I've watched it, but it's such a phenomenal movie. Daniel says women's volleyball now, that's enjoyable for science. Yeah. R2 says no, that was a different lady. Okay, well,
I might have just been one of the other characters.
Okay, that's fair.
Character.
Okay, well, I mean, we can. Oh, fun. Let's transition to Disney. Where to start with this nonsense? It's like watching a train wreck unfold. Yeah, it's really not good. Okay, we're gonna start here.
Okay.
Sorry. There's so many tabs because it was the Madonna was worried her bosoms would pop out. Well, given the fact when that movie was out in theaters, I was probably worried about them too. It was the hen catcher. I don't know what that means. The
hind catcher.
Yeah, the hind catcher. The hind catcher. I guess anyway. Okay, so we are going to take a look here, and we are going to. That's not the one I want. That's the one I want right there. So, Disney CEO Bob Chapek has decided to, that's right, bend the knee to idiots on Twitter. And with all the leaked footage that came out, they decided to do another Reimagine tomorrow event for employees, and this is what we get. So here we go.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day for this very important session. By now, I hope you've all read my most recent note, in which I pledged to be a better ally for the LGBTQ+ community, apologize for not being the ally that you needed me to be, and committed to ensuring that our company lives up to its values. I meant every word, and that's what we're here to talk about today. I know that we've got work to do, and that work starts with listening. I'm glad the company will hear from today's panel of LGBTQ+ employees, and I hope that you are as impacted as I've been by the voices that I've heard over the past few weeks. I've read many emails that have been sent, spoken with LGBTQ+ employees and their allies, met with advocacy groups, and convened my own leadership team. And I have been taken by the honesty, the openness, and the urgency of their stories. I want you to know that your words have made a real impact on me. I understand that we've made mistakes and the pain that those mistakes have caused. And I know that our silence wasn't just about the bill in Florida.
I have a $1 million question. What pain? What pain?
Yeah.
What the bill? The bill in Florida that hinders you from teaching gender ideology and sexuality to kids?
Small children.
like from kindergarten to third grade. That's where we're at here.
Okay, but what I don't understand too, though, is why is it important? I mean, even though, Disney World and mainly Disney, I guess, is like based in Florida.
Mhm.
But why is that bill important to Disney itself when it has to do with kids in school?
Because they're held hostage by their weirdo employees that literally, probably number the couple thousand, maybe it's a
Mhm.
max, to where Disney has in the United States 270,000 employees. 270,000.
Right.
Like, I don't
It's
know.
like it's making a big deal out of it when it's not a part of a major corporation to have to actually like worry about it because it doesn't affect them. So why should a corporation have to be worried about it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
because they're Daniel says, "Hey teacher, leave them kids alone."
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Let children be children.
Right.
And UK Amphibian says, "Hi." I do like that. I do like that name there. Going back to it, yeah, we're gonna finish this out because good God.
Okay. I'm gonna
But
eat this
about every
tiny
time
fruit
an
roll-up.
individual or
You're good.
institution that should have stood up for this community did not. I and the leadership team are determined to use.
What about the community of parents? What about the community of
Yeah.
children? Are you kidding me? You're talking about less than 1% of the population. Maybe, it's probably it's probably a little bigger now, like maybe 2%. Anyway, still, who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares? Stop pandering to these weird, and it's not all weirdos. It's not all weirdos.
No.
I want to very much correct that. There are many people from this community who are like, "Hey, dudes, no, we're not down with this."
Exactly.
And
But they're not the ones that you hear because then, it's always the people who, don't make enough sense that have the biggest mouths.
yeah. Daniel wants to know what flavor fruit roll up.
Oh, I don't know. A rainbow? Tropical tie-dye. It was some mini thing. I think it came in a birthday party bag. I wish I had more.
R2 says that's what a man with no spine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. He looks like he's held hostage. If you look at him, he just has like this look of like, I'm dead inside. Like, I don't know. Whatever. After this is over, I have some words. As someone who is a current business owner looking to grow and not who is not a multi-billion-dollar business owner, but
this moment as a catalyst for more meaningful and lasting change. We've heard many suggestions on how to do that, and we are working to move quickly. I want to thank the LGBTQIA+ Advisory Council, their allies, and everyone else who has submitted ideas on how we can take action. I am convening a meeting with all my direct reports and representatives of the Advisory Council to discuss the thoughtful suggestions that have been made. But we know the moment requires urgency and words are not enough. So we are taking some actions right now.
I got something for you there, old Bobby Chapek.
Actions for what? I don't get it.
Because
What
apparently,
are they supposed to do?
well, they've already said that they're going to put money into going against and repealing the legislation in Florida to teach kids about gender ideology and sexuality, and that's going to lead us into our next article from New Jersey.
So that's the whole goal.
Yeah, that's the whole goal. It's to screw with your kids. R2 says he looks like a Bruce Willis stunt double. No, he looks like a spineless clown. This is, you know what? I'm going to go on the record from day one, and this is day one of the fact that I am building a business. This has nothing to do with Nadine, by the way. She is the way I look at her, she is a partner business, and she is a phenomenal person she's not an employee of mine. I am a sole owner. She's building her own business, who we will be going forward to as a joint partnership in the future. If you are an employee, I don't care if I have one employee or 100,000 employees. If you come with me this bull crap, I'm going to tell you, go back to work. I don't care. I don't care about your political affiliations. I don't care about your gender affiliations. I don't care about your sexuality. I don't care about who you vote for. I don't care what movies you like on the weekend. Go to work.
Right.
If you don't,
I mean, hey, I will be nice to you and I will support you. And, whatever you have going on in your personal life or outside of work, it is outside of work. You don't bring that into work. And that's the same thing as this bill saying, don't bring your personal life into work to the little kids.
I will support your freedom to be who you want. However, you will not force.
When I'm paying you to do what I need you to do, I am paying you to do what I need you to do, not to do what you want to do.
Yep. And if
that's how it goes.
And if you decide to force your garbage on my company or on other employees or partners of my company, as Nadine and I are partners, from obviously she's trying to build her own brand.
That's infringement.
It's if you don't, it's like you're going to go to work for the hours that I pay you for. If you don't do so, you're fired. You're not just fired. You're fucking fired. You're fired. No, I'm being dead serious.
Fired.
Yeah, no, I tell him that too. Be like, going, dude, I don't care. What if you don't want to do outside this place? That's cool. Like, do what you got to do when you do.
Right.
But when you're in this building and you're on the clock, work.
Yep.
And if you're like, no, I'm fighting social justice, and you need to do this, and it's like, you need to work now. Like, there's no discussion here. And then if you push back again. Like, well, I'll walk out. Be like, good. You know what? There's the door. You're fired. Get out.
I wouldn't fire them though, because then they can collect unemployment. You have to make them quit.
That is true. That's a good point. Look at you. Look at you channeling your inner businesswoman. I like it. Daniel says, "Thank you." Say it like Trump, Ryan. You're fired.
You're fired.
All right. Yes, no, we're gonna move into the New Jersey bill, which took a very different stance.
You think if he was allowed to curse, he would say you're fucking fired?
Yes.
I think he would too. I think he drops the F-bomb a lot.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
He does. I want to hear him say it. I think he did say it like once or twice, and they got him at like a rally or something.
They tend to he tends to have
and I was like, yes, he said it. This is awesome.
Just got to be careful. They do sue as well. Those types tend to sue. Yeah, I mean, they can sue all they want. The thing is though, is that if you have, I live in Florida, so it's a right to work state. So if I decide that I don't like your ugly face, I can fire you.
That's the same thing here too.
Yeah, it's a right to work state is a beautiful thing. Look, I'm not anti, employee and stuff like that, because there are employers who do try to abuse the system. That's of course. However, I'm not about your ideology is not going to affect my bottom line. And we're seeing a lot of that stuff with Disney, with with Hollywood, with Amazon. Like, the Biden administration is looking into Amazon now. Well, guess who supported them getting elected? Amazon.
Yeah.
So now you're getting a knife to the back for supporting a political candidate.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on. So much. Goose. I wish I could say that. I wish I could say this is going to soothe the soul, but it's not.
Oh no.
Yeah. New Jersey to require second graders to learn about identity in fall. Alarming parents. Yeah, it's a real thing.
DeSantis.
So we are going to watch the here we go.
We've been going to Disney for a long time, and we're tired of the extreme changes that they seem to think are pleasing everyone, when if they actually spoke to the people in the park, they'd find out they're not.
I mean, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
When our annual passes expired in February, we did not renew them because
Where-
of our displeasure with the way Disney has gone overall, not just on that particular issue, but on all their wokeness.
I feel
Yeah, we're not going to watch all of this. I just wanted to kind of like clip it, but yeah, because going forward, New Jersey public school second graders will be getting lessons related to gender identity this fall under state sex education guidelines that will take effect in September.
There's
standards.
no reason for children that. Go on.
No. I feel you. Did you get sex education in school?
I did.
About what grade?
Ninth grade, I think.
Ours was 5th. About the time
around the grade, all of the girls got taken into like a little area. Each class, I think, was separate. All the girls from the class were like, we have a special assembly thing for you. And we're like, okay. And they talked about getting your period and give you a little pamphlet from Always. Yep. And I was like, oh. Yeah. And then I know we had health class in 8th grade. And then 9th grade, we actually had like sex ed.
Yeah, no, it was called, it was probably called something else, but the layman's label was sex education, but it wasn't about sexuality or who you're attracted to. It was about
it was just reproduction, basically.
Yeah, it was basically about your body's changing. Boys are going to start to smell.
We went over that in health class the year before.
Yeah, if boys work out hard, they're gonna run, they're gonna start to smell stinky if you don't take a shower, and
they talked about like you have to wash every area and
you
stuff.
You gotta wash the grundle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, that was our sex education. It wasn't definitely until later to like home ec and stuff like that, in like 8th grade that they started talking about like legitimate sexual protection.
We had to like write down the definition of STDs and stuff.
Yes, stuff like that. It's like, hey, you're about ready to go into high school, and it's like high school is a free for all, as we all know. And which we know now, we didn't know then. But yeah, that's exactly what it was. So I don't understand this whole thing about second graders don't understand because they're not.
You don't need to.
They're not sexual beings. Like a second grader doesn't know why you put the Wii in the Xbox. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
They don't know what an Xbox is.
First of all, you're not going to get them to freaking pay attention.
No, they're not.
Like, they're just going to sit there like, what is going on? So, yeah, they're just going to be like, okay. I don't understand. It's just ridiculous.
It is. And Daniel said that's why I started learning sexual stuff.
Yeah.
Right into freshman year of high school. Yeah. About, hey, you need to protect yourself, put a helmet on the little soldier. And no, go ahead, Nadine. You say it first.
My sex ed teacher, she was always everybody used to yell it in the hallways. It was so funny because she was like, you have to double up to make sure you don't get pregnant. You have to use the condom and the foam. And then like everybody in the hallways would just be yelling like for no reason.
Double up.
Foam. I've never used no damn
double
foam.
Up.
Let me tell you that.
I would have yelled double up until I was blue in the face. Daniel
oh my God.
So the kids don't care in second grade. I know I didn't care. I was wondering what new monster would be on Power. Yes.
Yes.
Or Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, like
R2 says make sure they are sponge worthy.
oh my
Okay.
god, yeah, right. And the kids used to well the kids now too, like people boys are worried about like Fortnite, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I
I'm
mean,
not worried about any of
my
that stuff. It's
my,
not important.
my nephew is 13, and I made it. We went to WrestleMania this last weekend. Obviously, that's why I wasn't here. And I was like, I can't remember what I said or something like that, but it was just a slight joke. And I'm like, oh, if you gotta do, if you want a girlfriend, you gotta like do this. And my dad's like, he doesn't want a girlfriend. And my nephew said nothing because he's like, he's barely entering the puberty phase. You know what I
Right.
mean? He's not interested in girls. He's still doing sports. He's playing video games. We went to this big arcade in Dallas, and we were playing this Halo like 6-person shooter game.
Nice.
It was my nephew, my dad, and I, and we're just like, just like playing, like turret shooter. I was like, dude, I'm like, holy cow, you're really good at this. He's like, yeah, I play a lot of Fortnite, and I'm like, I can tell.
Right.
You're better at video games than I am.
And I mean, that's the thing. Right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of time for that. There's plenty of time for dating and all kinds of stuff. Like, I think it's something that for some reason still carries over from like back in like the 40s and 50s. And some people still have that idea like, oh, after you're done with high school, now it's like, okay, you go to college, and then after college you get married, and then you do. But it seems like, okay, humans are living way longer these days.
Mm-hmm.
So technically speaking, like it seems like there should be a shift in like age ranges of things. Like, don't go and like try to get married by the time you're like 30 because and the only other thing I could think of is obviously like fertility and stuff like that, but on the same hand it also just depends on genetics. Like there's some women that I know, like one of my friends in high school, her uncle was the exact same age as us because her gram had him when she was like 50. You know what I mean? So it's all in genetics. It doesn't matter how early you do it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And that's just how it goes. Like you can't force things to happen. So I think that even like, as far as like adolescence is concerned, I would feel like that may even go like, I think even just the age of being like an adult at 18 is like preposterous now, just because of the fact that even 18-year-olds, they're not as mentally like developed as years ago. And that's not their fault. And I'm not faulting anybody. It's just because of, again, the lifespan of human beings is becoming longer. Therefore, like the span of like childhood and adolescence is longer. That's just how it's working out these days. Like most people aren't, self-aware maybe until they're about like 30 now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would agree there's no rush when it comes to I mean, because obviously I signed on the dotted line for the military at 16 and a half. As soon as I turned 18, I was because that's the age I had to be for my MOS. I was gone literally a month later to the day. I turned 18 on August 4th and I was gone September 4th.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. Don't there's nothing wrong with not rushing it. And quite frankly, I think that it isn't the same world, and you can definitely see that kids nowadays are a lot more padded and protected from a lot of stuff in a sense. And at the same time there's a lot of stuff though too that's kind of coming at them at the speed of light. So it's
strange.
It's a very strange time that I think kids nowadays are not being, because things are changing so fast. I think parents try to shield them more, and I think part of that is necessarily a little bit of a disservice, because you see these people who are like, well, I mean, because at the age of 25, I was still an idiot. I believe that wholeheartedly. Hell, at 36, I'm still an idiot. You know, but at least I have a little more perspective. You know, if you would have put me in the military today, as per when I, you know, back in 2003, I don't think I would be ready for that responsibility in today's world compared to back then, because I think that I think there was less shielding because the digital world was just starting to speed up, so to speak. And now that the real world is in full spin with you know, social media and the internet and stuff like that, I think there are parents who they try to shield kids more, and I think that's part of it's a good thing, but at the same time it's overdone. You know, and I think it's like anything, you know, if you get too far this way, you know, you want to like skew it back to the center, but the problem is that all of a sudden you're just like, and you're back on the other side, and you're like, oh shit, you're gonna like cry, you know, you gotta like try to it's a constant game of pong to try to keep it in the center, in my opinion. 0311 Al Manuel, when I was 13, I only cared about PlayStation 1 and RPGs. Yeah, dude. I was playing WWF SmackDown with my friends. When I joined the Marines, I was still an idiot too. Yeah. I feel you, bro. I feel you. And you know, the military has taken a little bit of that stance too, to be kind of soft. And I think that's doing a disservice to young soldiers and Marines and you know, and airmen and stuff like that, because you know, the world isn't a nice place. Like, well, we can sugarcoat it however the hell we want, but the world's not a nice place. And I think that you know, in that kind of situation with that specific job set, you need to know what you're up against, because if you fail, which they just lowered the Army, they just lowered the Army PT standards, because they're like, well, half of our recruits can't meet it. It's like, well, bust their ass.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Like in my day, it's like, oh, well, you can't pass the test. Guess what? I'm gonna bust your ass. And you have a certain allotment of time. They usually give you, you know, 3, 6, 9 month, you know, intervals. And if by the final evaluation you can't do it, you're gone, you're cut. And so and I think that also falls under the whole, you know, social media digital age, to where people are a lot more lazy, you know, they're not as active. But anyway, the R2 says the missus got back with dinner, gotta bounce. Have a good night, everyone. Okay,
you too. Enjoy your dinner.
Okay, R2, I'll text you when we're done, and I'll let you know when we can hop backstage and after the show. So we're gonna move off the whole New Jersey thing, because obviously New Jersey is trying to teach kids stuff so much.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, next is nope. We already looked at that one. My fault. Here we go. The next one is from Drew Hernandez on Twitter, which he is a great follow. A Disney employee speaks out against what's going on, and that's one thing I wanted to take a look at, because it's interesting.
And I'm a cast member here at for Disneyland. Actually, I've been with them.
Also, the fact that she's a cast member at Disneyland and she's speaking out, I really hope she doesn't get fired, but there's a good chance she might get fired. He says, I'm from, gosh darn it, wrong button, Ryan. I'm from Jersey. What's going on? The fact that they just implemented that gender ideology will be taught to second graders starting in September. So, you know, teaching kids about gender ideology, sexuality, you know, all that weird stuff.
Them for quite a long time, and it's gotten very political, and it's gotten very hard to be who you are. It's gotten very hard to be someone who has conservative values, someone who believes in the right to choose somebody who believes that it's okay to stand up for righteousness. It is okay to stand up for righteousness. Any Disney cast members that are afraid to be bold, that are afraid to be courageous, stand up. It's okay. You're not alone. And I'm a cast member here at the.
She sure doesn't look white. I'm just gonna say that for the record. Manuel says, "What? Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's true. It's true. We just went over. If you scroll back and probably like, I don't know, 10 minutes, you'll see the beginning of the article. Yeah, she's a Disney cast member, and obviously there are a lot of young people in the audience, not older people, but young people who are supporting her position. And that's not something you would normally see. There are a lot of younger, fresh faces there. And that's been one of the things that they've talked about a whole lot, is that, well, young people, support this wholeheartedly, and it's just not true. So,
yeah.
I mean, there was an internal memo that went around that was signed by a lot of Disney employees about the fact that they're standing out against it. But of course, we have a wonderful president. I know we're moving along fast because we have a lot of stuff to cover.
Okay.
And we got about 17 and a half minutes left to cover it because I need to get out of the state. They're trying to ban plastic bags from stores. What?
Oh.
You can recycle plastic bags at like every grocery store. I know, because I don't ever throw away plastic bags. I save them.
I do understand the thing about plastic bags, though, because to be honest, like if I drive past where Walmart is and stuff like that, I was going over the bridge by the river the other day. There was one float. It was stuck in a tree.
I believe it. Absolutely.
They are terrible. And like,
they're not good. Absolutely. I would agree.
And to be honest, like maybe they in themselves aren't because you can recycle them. It's careless people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, I know accidents happen, but still, I was thinking about it today too, not to completely get off subject, but like my neighbors, I looked on the side of their fence and there's a blue mask just sitting there next to the fence in their driveway. Did they pick it up? No. And you know what? I was thinking, gonna have to keep an eye out because I bet you we're gonna see a lot of birds' nests with fucking masks in them.
The mask, the mask has become literally the new litter. The new litter on the side of the road. It's definitely disgusting. It's human beings that are disgusting.
Yeah,
and it's much
throw
like
your trash away.
It's much like blaming video games are to blame for violence. It's like, no, dude, human beings are to blame for violence. Human beings are to blame for like everything.
Right.
we're to blame for everything. You can't you can't blame the guns are terrible, and it's like, no, dude, it's like a shovel. I can beat you to death with a shovel, and then I can go beat your wife to death with a shovel. You know, it's not that hard. It's a tool to a means to an end. If I'm gonna do something, I can do it no matter how disgusting and gross and vile it is. Oh, Manuel says, I understand, but I use them as trash bags. Yeah, no, I
use them for cat litter. Like, what else you have for cat litter in?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and they're definitely
or diapers when you have babies.
I've never done that. I don't have babies.
No. If you're a parent, plastic bags come in handy.
But I am a big advocate of leave people's kids alone.
Yeah,
that's what I'm an advocate of, and of. One of the last things we're going to get into here is, of course, the White House could not keep their mouth shut about what's going on, because why would they? These people, what is wrong with you? I don't know. I just can't. I
don't like her.
She's quitting, so you won't have to. She's going to
be somebody more terrible.
Yeah, she's going to MSNBC soon, so you won't have to deal with her anymore. But she says
But Alabama's lawmakers and other legislators who are contemplating these discriminatory bills have been put on notice by the Department of Justice and the Department of Health and Human Services that laws and policies preventing care that healthcare professionals recommend for transgender minors may violate the Constitution and federal law. To be clear, every major medical association agrees that gender-affirming healthcare for transgender kids is a best practice and potentially life-saving. All of this begs an important question. What are these policies actually trying to solve for? LGBTQI plus people can't be erased or forced back into any closets, and kids across our nation should be allowed to be who they are without the threat that their parents or their doctor could be imprisoned simply for helping them and loving them. But Alabama's lawmakers and other legislators who are
We don't understand what this is about.
It's about because so obviously Florida came out against it. Alabama has come out against it. There are many states that are making it illegal to gender swap children. That if you're not an adult, and this is the next stage after Florida, that if the child is not 18 years of age, they cannot transition, and a parent cannot have the child transition, i.e. push their weird ideology on their child, because obviously a child has no idea what they're doing.
Right. It's the parent's job to protect that child until they're legally an adult. Therefore, there should be, I don't think that no. And especially, like, I saw a story, I don't know if I've mentioned it. I did mention it, I think, a couple weeks ago when we talked about this, about this person that transitioned, and they were like, oh, they said it would be easy and everything would be okay if I wanted to go back. And then they can't. And now they have all these problems. It's not something to be taken lightly at all.
It's a major surgery. Like for girls,
major surgeries, and
yeah, thank you. Surgeries,
and also, putting man-made hormones into your body.
I don't care what your religious beliefs are or lack thereof. Biologically, it doesn't work because you're not taking out an appendix, which I had when I was in 5th grade, I had my appendix explode like a hand grenade.
Yeah, after I had mine out.
Yeah, almost killed me. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. They had to, this is before the little laparoscopy that kind of did, they had to slice me open down to the guts. And they had to take out part of my intestine because it was infected and it was starting to rot. It was crazy. This is not something that is easy to do. Even with modern medicine, this is like doing that back then. You're literally chopping off let's say a 12-year-old girl's breasts. You just lobbed off. You're taking out her regulatory system, because that's what a girl's reproductive system is. It regulates her hormones through puberty, and it regulates her body for the rest of her life. Like, you're taking out a major part of her nervous system. You're like, yeah, you're gonna be fine, whatever, we're gonna give you this kind of, like, we can't comprehend this stuff. We can't map like literally like 97% of the human brain, but you think that you can do like gender reconstructive surgery on children?
Right.
Look,
and then there's also to take into consideration mentally.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't care what you say at 14 years old. You don't know what the hell you're thinking. Even if you are a smarter child, even me myself, like when I was about 14, and it's just, I think a lot of it is a way for, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who wants to correct me if I'm wrong, but if you remember what it was like being in high school and having all these things coming at you, and then a lot of people these days say, well, it's even worse because when you go home, it doesn't stop. you're online or whatever, stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of like here nor there. Like, it's allow your kids to have what they have, like my daughter just talks to like her friends and that's it. She doesn't really have any connection to like anybody, like everybody in school. But like you go through a lot when you're that age. Every kid does. I mean, I did. I was like 14 and I was like, I'm going to shave my head. And I feel like being like a boy because like nobody likes me. So, and then I was like, like then you think about it and you're like, okay, well, if nobody likes me, then what do I do? So then I think a lot of these kids then just, especially with the things that they have online that they can search and look for, just things that you can read, it gets into your head and then you make this decision. And then these parents are like, oh, well, you know what? I don't want to be seen as somebody who like doesn't accept this because then nobody's going to talk to me. And then you start going down this whole path of like doing these things where like, could it work out and your kid will be like, okay with it? Sure. But it's a long, slippery road. And I'm willing to bet that the majority of the kids that do go through this, by the time they're 30 years old, things aren't looking so well, which is very sad.
They have done statistics, and I'm going to get to Manuel's comments here real quick. They have done polls and statistics and done research. The children suffering from suicidal thoughts, depression, and stuff like that before transitioning, hormone therapy, and going through the whole entire procedure, the suicide rate is the same as the other side of the barrel. There's no difference because it makes no difference because these kids need help. Look, I understand. Look, fine. Okay. If you grow up and you say, hey, I love, I'm a man and I love men. Do what you got to do when you do. I'm not going to question that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a lesbian, if you want to be a drag queen, cool. Do what you got to, I mean, I kind of equate, being a drag queen to, getting on YouTube and putting on a spectacle, and it's somewhat of the same kind of entertainment. It's just different.
It's performative.
You're putting on a performance. The difference is that what we do for a performance here is an honest performance of an analyzation of political and pop culture. We're analyzing the state of our world, but it's still entertainment because people want to hear honest people. So anyway, for here, where he's talking to Jen Psaki, where is your list? And who are the experts that are saying? Yeah, they never give experts. They have the experts say, like, who? Two of them? Like, what are you talking about? I know experts who I'm an expert at this, at this video game, and it's like, then of course you're like, okay, well, what's the name of this character? Well, I can't remember. Well, it's right on the tip. And they're like, no, dude, shut up. Who's gonna put a name and the face of it you're talking about, Jen? Yeah. He also says, what's crazy is was I served served with many, many different people, women, men, gay people, black, white, Hispanic, like just you name it. Guess what? They all scream at you the same. The drill sergeants, they scream at you, they yell at you, and they tear you down as an individual to build you up together as a team. It's not to tear down your individual. It's to tear you down and say, look, you're not going to survive by yourself. You need to rely on other people. You need to look at the people around you that you may not know, no matter who they are, and realize that you got their back and they got your back, no matter what. That's what they do. And he's right. No one literally cared. Guess what? I have probably showered with more men than you've probably seen wee-wees. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm going to say, look, you're a woman, you're a straight woman, and trust me, I've seen a whole lot of wee-wees. You know what? It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And he says, just sub to you, Legion. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, he's like, we don't care. And then for you, it's a shared misery. Exactly. It is so miserable that it builds character and it builds teamwork.
Yep.
I'm
well, that's just going back real quick before we move on to what we're talking about the transitioning thing too. And you're talking about like the suicide rate and stuff. And that's where the problem lies. because changing your outside and thinking that doing that is going to help you fit into wherever is never going to change what's in here. No matter what you do, it is not going to change what is in your head. So, and I, especially, younger kids, even some people, even adults get stuck into the same thing. If I have this purse, then everybody's going to like me. If I drive this car, everybody's going to like me, and it's all superficiality.
Yeah.
Where everything that matters is in here, and that's it.
I remember in middle school and high school thinking like, oh, I just, my parents just, bought me these pair of shoes that I honestly probably could have got 3 outfits out of, because I grew up poor. But it's, it's like, oh, I got these shoes that were, kind of popular. And it wasn't usually like at the time, it's like, yeah, they were probably popular like 4 months ago. Like, and then of course it kind of carried out and kind of like, or one of those things. It's like, oh, I got a new pair of shoes. I'm going to run faster. No, dude, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. You can drive the coolest car. You can have the coolest phone. And quite frankly, to put together what I've learned to this day, I could have look, I do a lot of investing. I'm obviously building a lot of this stuff. I could have billions of dollars one day, and guess what? I'm still gonna wear a hat. I'm still gonna wear the merchandise for my channel.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna wear probably cargo shorts or basketball shorts, depending on whether I'm going to the store or I'm going to have dinner with a friend. That's going to be it. I'm not going to walk around in a, $2,000, suit, be like, oh yeah, it looks really great. It's like, no, I don't care.
Although I do care, but I would
yeah,
fun stuff all the time.
that's very fair. I mean, but
but it's also a different thing,
well, even for the ladies though, like, I've watched your makeup streams. You find a way to, instead of buying, which most people fall into this category, instead of like buying like, oh, you can buy this product for like $60, you can get this product for like maybe $20 and you can get more use out of it, but it falls along the same category, if that makes sense. And that's why,
because I'm poor, I can't buy expensive stuff, and a lot of people can't either. So
yeah,
you see a lot of these ads on everywhere on social media and stuff for all these things, and a lot of the high-end products are very good. There's some are hit or miss. There are some that are very good, and I'm like, I see them come across, and I'm like, one day we'll have those. But for now, I'm like, okay, I'll pick some stuff up and see if it works or whatever. And nobody is gonna no, you know what I mean? Nobody, when you go somewhere, the majority of people, and I mean, granted, if you were in, let's say, if I was in a group of beauty YouTubers, they would be like, oh, well, what primer did you use or whatever, you know what I mean? Like not 90% of people aren't going to ask you questions on it. They're not going to be like, how much was that?
Yeah. Normal people don't do that. It's going to be a small select few people that, quite frankly, probably you'll hang out with for 30 minutes and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go. I have no desire to talk to you people.
Well, that's the thing too, speaking of having things. Yeah, it's true. And especially having things, if people are drawn to you for the things that you have or the things that you show off, like on social media and stuff, like, oh my God, you look at this, and my boyfriend bought me this and this and that. Like, if people are gravitated to you for that reason, they're not gravitating to you for your actual self.
Yep. It's fake.
So,
and this is for me. This is for me. He says Ranger panties and silkies all day. Yeah.
Oh.
It's an inside joke. We got a lot of inappropriate inside jokes in the military. That's one reason that well, probably not in today's military as much anymore. He says, we missed you at the Jack show, Nadine.
Thanks. I know people always ask me, are you going to go on? Are you going to go on? And I'm like, if I don't get an invite, like they're like, just go on, and I'm like, you can't just go on. You need a friggin' link. Like,
Yeah.
I can't just like pop in and be like, hi.
Well, chat members, you have a whole lot of power because you are the audience. We are just in the way I put it, we are dancing clowns. So if you request something and you do it enough, most likely the host will listen to you. And if they don't, they're probably not the best host ever, except for you, unless you want me to put on a thong and parade it around. I do not have an OnlyFans, but maybe one day, who knows? I don't know. How much money y'all going to donate a month? If we talk about $5,000 a month, we might talk about it. And he says hand-me-downs all day. So we're going to take it out with this because Disney has quadrupled down for the last time, and then we're gonna let this go because apparently they have an upcoming ad that they have decided that they're gonna roll with, and I don't know why. So we are going to take a watch here. And this is the final thing that we're going to do. Okay, we're good. Here we go.
You want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are.
Is that lady
Max
from
loves to do
last
backflips.
week?
Max loves to play his ukulele.
I don't. The lady from who?
From last week when we watched the thing, and she works for Disney, and she was like, "My kid's transgender," and we were all like, "Why do we care?" She works for Disney.
That kind of looks like her, doesn't
That's
it?
her. She was like, "I'm the mom of a transgender kid," and blah blah blah. And we're like,
well,
okay.
I in my defense,
now she's inviting us into her home.
I'll have to run it by R2.
I think she was on that. She was talking. She was like in one of those internal videos.
She looks really close. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what she says to see.
Okay. Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. If you've never met a transgender child before, what I want you to know is that that child is no different than yours. They have the same hopes and dreams and deserve the same equality as your child does. We tell our kids as often.
Are we seeing the transgenderism in this child? Am I missing something?
I mean, I'm guessing that Max was born a a girl.
Maybe. It says that you guys are like the modern day movie stars now. Hollywood keeps sticking their foot in their mouth. Yeah, they're ripe for it's like.
But to me, I don't. To me, this seems like you're pimping your kid out.
Yeah, it seems gross.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. Like, I'm not saying hey, let's sweep your kid under the rug or anything like that. But when you're blatantly coming out and like, I don't know, did the kid be like, yeah, mom, this sounds like a cool idea. I want you to put me on this little short and talk about me and how I'm transgender? I don't know.
I have a question. How old does he look? 13?
Yeah, I was gonna say like 13, 14.
Like, I'd say 14 max. He doesn't look like he's close to driving.
No, definitely not close to driving.
So I'm kind of like, what in the fudge? But okay, let's see if she explains anything else.
Often as we can, that we love them in as many ways as possible. There are some politicians who are trying to tear my family apart simply because my son is transgender. Trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. They just want to be left alone. My family's just like yours. We love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
What's trying to tear her family apart?
I don't know.
Did anybody say they were going knocking on doors and putting red marks above the doors, like when they were going after baby Jesus?
I don't know.
I haven't heard of any agenda like that.
Much like he said the kid looks normal. Like, yeah, what are you talking about? Is that a boy? Is that a girl? Like, I'd assume maybe it's a girl, but at the same time, though, it does not. the child. This is so confusing. Like,
See,
I don't even know how to
where you're
address.
like, I'm not sure, but on the same hand, it's also none of our business.
You're right. It's none of our
None
business
of everybody's business.
until
For us
she
to
made
be,
it that.
for us to be sitting here questioning whether this woman's child is a boy or a girl, no one should be put in that position, putting these, questioning about a child. So it's her fault that the child is in this position.
I would agree. I don't understand this. Why?
But I don't understand why she's like, what her whole idea is. Like, what is it? She did not explain what the politicians are doing. Which politicians? What is the agenda? Why is your family going to be torn apart? Are they, like I said, are they coming to take your kid away? I don't understand this. None of it makes sense.
I don't know. But yeah, don't air that shit out, lady. Or she's projecting. Like, I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about. I have no idea what she's talking about, like, at all. I don't.
It just seems unnecessary.
It's insane. It's insane because now we're having conversations that we don't want to have about other people's kids that we don't want to have. And then we're talking about entertainment, being infiltrated by this stuff that we don't want to have. I would much rather do our turning red, 15-minute review, what I liked about the movie, what I didn't like about the movie, what you liked about the movie, what you didn't like about the movie, where we agree on things. That's entertainment. This isn't entertainment. This is like,
this is just personal airing out personal business.
It's perverted. It's like, I'm gonna air my family's dirty laundry on, just for everybody to see. And please clap, please clap. And it's like, I don't.
Things that I think might be talked about within your like friend group. Within your child's
your
friends,
family, or
like something closer. It's not something that I get it. There are people that are transgender in the world and stuff like that, but on the same hand, I just don't see what the reasoning is. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I have no idea. I'm so at a loss because it doesn't seem to stop. It seems to, it's not like we're pulling back saying, okay, maybe we're going to slow down a little bit. It seems to be like the bus in Speed where, it just continually seems to go faster and it crashes through more stuff and it can't drop below 55 miles an hour. And it's just like, go, 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 go. And it's like, you just don't know how to stop it. I don't know.
It's just and it's just like anything these days. So I think what happens is because there are so many outlets for exposure that it's like a huge, like it's like a snowball effect, but the snowball is already like this big to start instead of this big. And then it goes faster because it's larger, but it also ends quicker as well. And it's just a thing that goes and then it's just gone. And then there's something else to take its place.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't seem to be an end. I hope next week we can just discuss stuff that's more positive, maybe more entertainment related. I unfortunately, it's just the last couple of days have been literally a snot storm of just fiery, just like, what in the hell is going on? And all of this is all just tornadoed out, and you're like, okay, I guess this is what we're talking about for like literally, and it's like we barely dabbled on anything else but this because there was so much and all different subjects. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody who was in the chat.
Thank you, everybody.
It's been so awesome.
We like when you actually comment too. Like that's a big part of us being here. It's not just us talking, giving out our opinions. We like to hear everybody else's opinions and talk to you about it because we're just two people and hearing everybody else's opinions on things and talking with us, helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is an open forum. I mean,
Mhm.
you could agree 100% with what I say, or you could literally turn around and jump in the chat and say, I think you're a giant racist piece of garbage. And I'll be like, oh, all right, dude, cool. It's like no big deal. Like, you think I'm a racist? Like, I've been called worse. And recently I actually had my job threatened, which is funny. My day job. Yeah. Somebody's like, I'm going to call your day job. And I'm like, do you want the address? Like, like, we have a social media policy. They don't care. So going to the last comment here is, he says, obviously Manuel says, thank you. I learned a lot listening to you both. He says, I'm a Filipino immigrant that used the front door. Well, we appreciate you using the front door.
And you served.
And he says, you guys are not racist. I don't know. The jury's out on me. Don't go there yet. Like, Nadine's not racist. But no, in all joking aside, I'm the one who covers a lot of pop culture. I'm the one who covers a lot of politics and stuff like that. Nadine is my normal everyday. I call her my touchstone. It's not meant to be like, inappropriate. It's that she doesn't listen to any of this stuff. I do. I listen to it on a daily basis. I listen to the nonsense that's going on with Disney. I listen to the nonsense going on in politics, and I bounce all my ideas off of her because she's the one who doesn't listen to any of this. She's a normal, hardworking American. She has kids. She's trying to make way for her family, and that's why I brought her on, is that she has the normal taste that I may get a little jaded about, because trust me, I get a little jaded from time to time. So
I like to philosophize about society on my own time and make little videos. I think that's kind of my new niche. Record videos when I'm driving and talking about things.
Yes, which you can find on her Twitter at Hope Warrior. I didn't update it. It's 6:15.
There's a couple on my Instagram too. I'll probably put more on there. But I've had quite a few people just message me out of the blue on Instagram. I have people tell me on Twitter too and stuff like that it's a lot of things I say is you're positive, and you made my day, or I really needed to hear that today, and I'm like, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just breathe out positivity, because things can suck, but I'm not immune to it. None of us are immune to it, but sometimes even just hearing something good.
Yeah, absolutely. So follow her on Twitter, Hope Warrior 615, and you can also find, we're on her Facebook channel. So if you're sorry, thank you, YouTube. I got banned on Facebook recently. That's why I'm thinking about it.
Everybody was there's 4 people that I know that got banned the past couple of days.
Well, this is where the people threaten my job. Like, I made a joke because someone who I know, who I'm not real close with, but I know that they're of the other side of the persuasion. There was a dude who had a really clumsy come on. It was really bad. And and I recognized it was, because I was like, hey, I'm like, don't lump us all in with numb nuts. I was like, yeah, that was really, I called them numb nuts because it was terrible. But I was like, haha, don't lump us all in. Went straight to blaming all men, including me. And I'm like, whoa, I went with the joke. Like, what are you talking about? And then of course, her buddy who, from New York, so jumped in on it too. And of course I was like, look, maybe if you acted a little less shrew, you wouldn't get, the wrong kind of people maybe approaching you, maybe be a little more kind, because you kind of went off on me for no reason when I made a joke.
People say that Twitter is toxic, and I think Facebook is way worse.
Oh, Facebook is 10 times worse.
It is so bad. And it's so many people just being completely passive aggressive about things and faking so many things, and it's just to the whole village, and just like embarrassing people publicly, like, and it's like, what is, excuse me?
Yeah, no, literally, I got the whole, well, if, men wouldn't act like this and men like you wouldn't defend them. And I'm like, I wouldn't defend anybody. But, so that's when, as soon as I made the shrew
people
comment,
are also illiterate.
Yeah, I made the shrew comment, and I got the whole, well, your job's going to hear about this. We know where you work. And then, of course, I reacted poorly. Called them a name that wasn't nice. I mean, it wasn't like horrendous, but it was like, it's like, all right, you want to be little fucking, and of course, so I got banned for 30 days. That's cool. Don't worry about it. I don't need Facebook.
Hallelujah.
The fact that you and I are on social media for like doing this, I think we could probably definitely, I know me personally, like the last time I got banned on Facebook, I was like, oh, this is what freedom feels like. Like, it actually felt good. It was weird. So anyway, long story short, go check out Nadine. You're on her YouTube channel currently. So if you're watching on Twitter, find her Multifaceted with Nadine. And if you're on YouTube, go to her Twitter, Hope Warrior 615. Also, we're going to do the advertisement here. So go to Silk City Hot Sauce, and you can get 15% off if you use the promo code Legion, Legion. That is Silk City Hot Sauce. 15% off when you use that promo code. They are very supportive of what we do here, which is awesome. So we are going to go to the last final comments here. Manuel says, I love America because it gave me so much opportunities and also clean water and awesome fellow Americans. Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
I have a lot of love for you, dude, because you served next to me, and that's all that matters. Is that we wore the same. We wore the same flag on our arm. I ain't going back to where I came from. I ain't going back where I came. I tell you that. Yeah, I don't blame you, dude.
Definitely an American talking like that.
Yeah, those of us who have been around the world and they're like, oh, America is so terrible. I'm like, I could tell you a place you might want to visit if you think it's that bad. And he says that's why I don't have any social media. Yeah, dude, I feel you. I'm definitely gonna limit my personal social media and keep it strictly business only. So we're gonna play the intro as an outro. We are here every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And definitely check out Nadine on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, I'm so bad at that. I'll get it one day, I promise. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I put it out on I don't know if it's in my Twitter bio now, but I might have just changed that to the contest that I entered. But Thursdays at 9 on my channel.
Okay. And you can definitely go to my Twitter, Legion Games 2076. You can find all my YouTube channels. You can find my Rumble, Odyssey, Getter, Truth Social, Minds, and you can also find my T Public store, which is LG 2076, where you can buy merchandise, including this T-shirt, which is I got merchandise. I show my nice boobs on the stream. And he says, see you guys next Friday. I prefer this than Friday night tights. I love me some Friday night tights. I'll admit I love me some Friday night tights. This is actually, but I was told I was brave for going against Friday night tights. And I was like, well, I'll watch Friday night tights on my own time. And I'm going to do my thing. We're going to do our thing, and we're going to build our podcast together. So appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Those in the chat, because you guys make everything possible, and we will see you again soon. And thank you for everything as always. Nadine, you are awesome. So she is a gem. She puts up with my crap. Buddy. Yeah, I don't know about that. they come for the looks, not the and the brains instead of the dummy over here. We'll see you guys. See ya.
Bye.